Hello everyone, I am BowserJrXD. Welcome to the Spanish Grand Prix at the Circuito de Jerez Angel Nieto, race 5 of 22 for MotoGP in 2025. Heading the European circuit for the first time at the track named after one of the greatest lower engine class motorcycles of all time. Or more, one of the lower class motorcyclists, because MotoGP used to have 5 different engine formulas running under the top banner before it became MotoGP, Moto2, and Moto3. Fabio Quartararo, the 2021 champion, starts on the pole in his Monster Energy number 20 Yamaha. The Ducatis, the factory Ducatis are 2 and 3, and then everything else is business as usual. Marc Marquez has won 8 of the 9 sprints and features. That'll probably continue. Races on FS2, which instead of FS1 like I thought, which means that I have to use the streaming. You have to do something else for the race. That sucks. Now, first I need still trying to figure. I'm just trying to figure out to get a stream going. Most of the ones I've seen just aren't working, which is the problem. That's not right. Here, okay. I really gotta favorite this website. Anyway, now that I think I've got this going, I'll go over the starting lineup for today's race. All right. Oh, shit. Come on. Where is it? It's too early in the morning for me. I gotta get used to this again. Starting 38th. No, what the heck? The wrong string. Starting 23rd, because there's a wild card driver. Driving number 42, Yamaha YZR M1 for Monster Energy Yamaha MotoGP team. 29 years old from Barcelona, Spain, Alex Rins. Starting 22nd, driving the number 32, Aprilia RSGP 25 for Aprilia Racing. 32 years old from Cesena, Italy, Lorenzo Savadori. Starting 21st, driving the number 35, Honda RC213V for Idemitsu Honda LCR. 26 years old from Chonburi, Thailand, Somkiat Chantra. Starting 20th, driving the number 7, Yamaha YZR M1 for Prima Pramac Yamaha MotoGP team. 27 years old from Madrid, Spain, Augusto Fernandez. Starting 19th, driving the number 41, Honda RC213V for Honda HRC test team. 35 years old from Granollers, Spain. Granollers, Spain, I don't know how to pronounce it. Aleix Espargaro, the wild card driver today. Starting 18th, driving the number 28, KTM RC16 for Red Bull KTM Tech 3. 27 years old from Romini, Italy, Enea Bastianini. Starting 17th, driving the number 25, Aprilia RSGP 25 for Trackhouse Racing. 24 years old from Madrid, Spain, Raul Fernandez. Starting 16th, driving the number 10, Honda RC213V for Honda HRC Castrol. 27 years old from Urbino, Italy, Luca Marini. Starting 15th, driving the number 79, Aprilia RSGP 25 for Trackhouse Racing. 24 years old from Kiyoshi, Japan, Ayagura, the second rookie, after Samkiat Chantra. Starting 14th, driving the number 43, Yamaha YZR M1 for Prima Pramac Yamaha MotoGP. 30 years old from Townsville, Australia, Jack Miller. That election is in 8 days or so. Starting 13th, driving the number 33, KTM RC16 for Red Bull KTM Factory Racing. 29 years old from Potchefstroom, South Africa, Brad Binder. Starting 12th, driving the number 37, KTM RC16 for Red Bull KTM Factory Racing. 20 years old from Mazarón, Spain, Pedro Acosta. Starting 11th, driving the number 72, Aprilia RSGP 25 for Aprilia Racing. 26 years old from Rimini, Italy, Marco Bezzecchi. Now for the top 10. Starting 10th, driving the number 5, Honda RC213V for Aprilia Racing. 34 years old from Caen, France, Johan Zarco. Starting 9th, driving the number 36, Honda RC213V for Honda HRC Castrol. Starting 8th, driving the number, starting not, so I was on 9th, number 36, 27 years old from Palma, Spain, Joan Mir. Starting 8th, driving the number 49, Ducati Desmosedici GP25 for Pertamina Enduro VR46 Racing Team. 26 years old from Rome, Italy, Fabio Di Gianantonio. Starting 7th, driving the number 54, Ducati Desmosedici GP24 for BK8 Gresini Racing MotoGP. 20 years old from Murcia, Spain, Fermin Aldiger, the highest starting rookie. Starting 6th, driving the number 12, KTM RC16 for Red Bull KTM Tech 3. 30 years old from Figueres, Spain, at Maverick Vinales. Starting 5th, driving the number 21, Ducati Desmosedici GP24 for Pertamina Enduro VR46 Racing Team. 30 years old from Rome, Italy, Franco Morbidelli. Starting 4th, driving the number 73, Ducati Desmosedici GP24 for BK8 Gresini Racing MotoGP. 29 years old from Jerez, Spain, Alex Marquez. Starting 3rd, driving the number 63, Ducati Desmosedici GP25 for Ducati Lenovo Team. 28 years old from Turin, Italy, Francesco Bagnaia. Starting 2nd, driving the number 93, Ducati Desmosedici GP25 for Ducati Lenovo Team. 32 years old from Jerez, Spain, Marc Marquez. And on the pole, driving the number 20, Yamaha YZR M1 for Monster Energy MotoGP Team, with a pole time of 1 minute 35.61 seconds and an average speed of 103.47 miles per hour, or 166.54 kilometers per hour. 26 years old from Nice, France, Fabio Quartararo. That is your starting lineup for today's Spanish Grand Prix. Estella. I can't remember. They had it. I don't remember the sponsor. Let me check the website. That is your starting lineup for today's Estrella Galicia Spanish Grand Prix. All right. Come on. Okay, there we go.
Breathing down his neck. It may seem a foregone conclusion after yesterday, but one mistake
Here we go.
could change everything.
It'll be 25 laps today. Lights on. Lights off. We're green at Jerez. Good start for the Ducatis. Here comes Bagnaia to the inside, trying to get around Quartararo. But Quartararo will hold on. Or will he? They go to the first turn, okay. Quartararo holds on again to the second turn, but the Ducatis are lined up behind him.
Frankie Morbidelli, he drops down the order, but you've got what you wanted, Neil, and not a great start from Marc Marquez.
No, and it's going to be interesting to see what happens now.
Marc Marquez trying to pull it to the outside of Bagnaia. Can't get there. He does get there.
Is he going to sweep back and come back underneath Pecco Bagnaia? He was wide, he was forced.
Okay, he ended up not getting around his teammate, the number 63.
Fabio Quartararo is leading the Spanish Grand Prix. And look at this, almost no chance for Quartararo.
Here comes Alex Marquez. Oh, he swings way wide and loses quite a few spots. Loses a spot to Furman Aldiger, but comes back around. Damn. That was quite a lunge, and he managed to hold on. Marc Marquez passes his teammate. Or does he? They're side by side, the two factory Ducatis crossing each other over. Oh, they touched! They touched! There comes Alex Marquez again. They're lined up behind the Ducatis. Fabio Quartararo definitely trying to run away.
Pecco can give it back. It's really impressive to see. This is what Pecco did last year, and that's how he won the race.
And this is what Quartararo wants. Up front, he can now do his own lines. He's not going to be under pressure. Marc Marquez will have to go again. Bagnaia has pulled something out on race day. He is attacking his teammate. Someone's up into the gravel.
Someone off. It's Marco Bezzecchi in the factory Aprilia. Man, that team has had no luck. Their champion is sidelined with 6 broken ribs. And now their other bike just wrecked.
What's happened now, and this is the reality of modern MotoGP, the first lap is almost like the last lap. It's so important to attack. You know, if you get stuck behind a rider, your front tyre temperature can go up, the pressure goes up, and you have less grip. So you have to attack. Straight away.
And this is Marquez now trying to close on the brakes, trying to find a way through, to have something now to attack into 7 and 8. Pecco Bagnaia said it all year. I've been stuck behind people, and it's bent my front tyre pressure. I just haven't been able to ride like I would like. Here we go on board.
Marc Marquez right now still in third, behind Francisco Bagnaia.
So far.
No, I mean, Marquez has had fantastic starts. Yes, he's qualified well, but he's started well. So it's now... he's going to have to learn. This is the first time Mark's had to battle with his teammate.
And tyre pressure-wise, that will be how they've set the tyre pressure. They'll have set it for him to lead the race.
Yes.
So this could be a crucial part of this race with Quartararo out front.
Yeah, essentially what that means is that Marquez's front tyre pressure will be going up quicker than they would have hoped. So what does that feel like? Well, it starts to feel greasy, especially in the braking zones.
He will have set that tyre pressure high, basically pretty much at the bar, won't he? The minimum bar that they're given, expecting that he'll have cool air on the front of his tyre. Well, it's not coming. He's got the hot air off the back of his teammate's bike. All the while, Fabio Quartararo said it was like a dream to have 2 minutes at the front of the race yesterday. Well, he's already got 2 laps.
There we go. Boom! Wow. That is a racing incident. No one's done anything wrong there. Both riders going for the same bit of tarmac. Good to see. None of them give in, really. It was Mark then has a big slide round turn 11.
Yeah, he was up on the curbs, wasn't he? He was fighting to stay on. He saw Bagnaia on the inside, but that was his line in, but it was taken away from him. Here comes Bagnaia now, closing in on Quartararo.
Prix is trying to get to the lead.
How interesting. Now,
I'm trying to think of what to say.
Doesn't look comfortable. He looks like he's actually...
I saw Morbidelli managed to get it to lead a lot of the Qatar Grand Prix, only for him to lose it to Maverick Vinales, and then eventually Marc Marquez. Ah! Marc Marquez has wrecked out of the Spanish Grand Prix.
Mistake number 1. If you try and go
oh no!
faster than everybody, I was literally watching him and I'm thinking he's closing in way too fast. Forward in the front. Can't believe it.
Smoke out the back of the bike as well as he gets going. Is that just done?
Oh man!
Marquez has crashed out of the Grand Prix at the Asphalt.
Well, that's his second DNF of the year. He's running third. That puts Alex, his younger brother, in the podium position. Damn.
Make up too much time in the area that you know you're good. You must be on. If you think about it, you must be on the limit if you're so much faster than all your rivals around there. Well, then he tried a bit harder.
It is game on in the Grand Prix of Spain. Marc Marquez has slid out at turn 8. And he drops down the order. He rejoins back in 22nd position ahead of Marco Bezzecchi. And suddenly it's game on at the front for Yamaha and Fabio Quartararo, for Pecco Bagnaia. And just like in the USA, Marc Marquez, a victim of his own pace, really.
Yeah. We talked about it, didn't we? With tracks where it looks like he's got an advantage, it's almost like he loses concentration. This felt different. And it really does show the emphasis on qualifying, on getting a good start, on making sure you've got cool air hitting your front tyre.
Well, Fabio Quartararo here might be in that kind of position. You wonder how he set his front tyre in terms of pressure. Did he expect to be leading this long into the race? You feel like if a Ducati like Bagnaia and Alex Marquez are behind him, if they are there, they will be able to get past Quartararo fairly easily.
You would think so. The
But
straight
they
isn't
weren't
long
able to
here,
get by
but
him,
we
or-
saw it yesterday. The Ducati has got enough speed to level the Yamaha rider in the braking zone.
It's like got a seventh gear. That's it.
Well, yeah, it is a bit like that.
Just suddenly pulls it.
Alex Marquez closing in on Bagnaia. He goes to the inside for second place. Alex Marquez takes second place.
And now the Mark fans have switched to the younger brother, who comes up to second in the
Bagnaia
race.
is going to come back. He's got to. No,
Can't do.
is Alex going to go wide? Is he? He's wide, but it's such a narrow track. There's not enough room.
Tie for the points lead.
Fastest lap of the race so far. New race lap record for Alex Marquez on that one. Starting to motor. Is this the moment where Alex Marquez finally breaks that winning duck? Remember, there's still Fabio Quartararo on the Yamaha out front.
Unbelievable,
He
isn't it?
wants this battle happening behind him.
Yeah, and if it, I mean, look at the championship there in the bottom corner. If it finishes like this, you've got level at the top.
It's not-
Marquez brothers.
My chief editor is not going to finish like this.
No.
With Alex Marquez and Pecco Bagnaia there. Look at Alex Marquez. How
Ooh,
much that bike was protested.
defensive line there for Alex Marquez. He kind of carved the turn.
How good is Fabio Quartararo? How good is this to see? I mean, we've seen such dominance from Ducati.
For me, Aldeguer's up in fourth.
Yeah,
Rookie.
you know,
Rookie up there in fourth place and running a decent
Oh yeah,
pace
Furman
here.
Aldeguer. Oh yeah, he was
Into
running
the
fifth
stadium they
before
go.
Marquez
Quartararo
wrecked, so
for
naturally he was
Alex
at the
Marquez,
fourth.
for Pecco
Just
Bagnaia,
one
and then
spot
Fernando
short of the
Aldeguer
podium.
In fourth, ahead of Maverick Vinales.
yeah, Aldeguer's only a second behind Bagnaia after 5 laps. Not
Alex
bad, that is.
Marquez though
He's
catching
good
up
race.
to the number 20 Yamaha.
So, as Quartararo rounds turn 12 up to the final
Man,
corner
he
now.
closing so
Alex
quickly.
Marquez has eaten up a lot of ground on Quartararo on this lap after he got through. He turns the bike and picks it up quickly compared to Quartararo. He's having to finish up round off the corner with his speed.
The pace on the straightaway.
It's the difference between the
That's
Yamaha
crazy.
and Ducati. Fabio taking the swooping line.
20% of the way through.
The rider of Alex Marquez behind, making more of a V. Slower in the middle of the corner, trying to stand the bike up and fire it out. Use the power of that V4 engine.
So if we're thinking now about turn 6, where does Quartararo have to ride? What does Quartararo have to do to keep Alex Marquez at bay here?
He will come out. We're into turn 5, right? This is the important part of the track for Quartararo. As he comes out of turn 5, watch him. He'll sweep right over to the right-hand side of the track. Watch, there he goes. Right over. I thought he got even further, to be honest. Slightly closer to the white line. The problem is if
take
you
the
do,
leaderboard, I'm
then it
sorry.
makes the braking zone a
Because
little bit more
I,
difficult because
in
you
order
couldn't,
to, I,
find
because the
a
race
few
is on
times.
FS.
doing it.
Oh, someone's off.
And he was,
It's rookie Furman Aldeguer. Damn. He was on track for his best career finish.
Basically go a longer way around him.
And that's off. And then
Here
he,
comes
damn.
Marquez again. Alex, of course, behind Quartararo. The crowd on their feet. Fabio's a popular rider here, I will say.
He's popular worldwide, isn't he?
Well, he speaks fluent Spanish. He grew up here. He's called El Diablo because of his exploits in the junior championships where we saw Roberto Locatelli because he used to run his helmet, didn't he? And someone said it looked like the devil, El Diablo. And that's where he got his nickname when he was a kid, winning the Junior World Championship twice.
Do you know, I've said this before, but what's so good about Fabio? He won the World Championship when he was, what was he, 22? He was young, 22,
Yeah,
23.
22 years old.
And
And
he
20
did not change one bit. From the young 15-year-old that came into this paddock, he was nice and polite and easy, approachable, could interview him anytime, worked his way up to being MotoGP World Champion, and honestly, he did not change at all. Always had time for you, stop, joke, laugh. Real likeable character.
Yeah, still does, doesn't he? And
Yeah.
even Marc Marquez said yesterday, we need Fabio up there in MotoGP. And he's super talented. This is Marc Marquez's words. Super talented. He's a super guy. And we need it for Yamaha as well. Marc knows. Marc knows this is what we need. If you're just joined us, Marc Marquez crashed out after 3 laps of this Grand Prix. He has rejoined at the back.
Oh, Alex has been sucked in there, but he's managed to get it stopped.
If you want to vote for your rider of the race, use the QR code that's on the screen. That's a new initiative Dorna have put out there, trying to get the fans involved.
Oh, come on. We're copying driver of the day here.
To help decide it. Who would you pick at the moment? Because
Fabio Quartararo, the guy who's in the lead at the moment, but it's a little early.
Pecco Bagnaia, as soon as Alex Marquez got past him, he's giving himself a little bit of breathing room almost, to just give his front tyre a little bit of air.
Would make sense. He'll have a strategy to such a long race. We've seen over the years people really burn a tyre out round here, so with 19 laps to go, you just got to stick to your plan.
The Yamaha crew watch on as Fabio Quartararo continues to...
Maverick Vinales is up to fourth. To be fair, he started sixth and 2-car bikes ahead of him.
Bagnaia wide in turn 1, a 137.8 from the double MotoGP World
Who has
Champion.
fastest lap right now?
Yamaha
looks like it's Maverick.
It's been a long
No,
time.
It's been a long 3 years, hasn't it? The last 3 years.
1:57.642. Aldeguer has the fastest lap at the moment. Though he's out. Oh, he's listed in last place. Damn.
They've obviously they're working on a V4 engine. That's common knowledge. They tested it last week at Valencia. I believe Augusto Fernandez spun the first laps on it. He actually said in an interview on Thursday, he said, I did a few laps on it just to check what the V4
There looks like another defensive line, this time by Quartararo.
Right,
back in the pack, we got Miller in 7th, behind him Franco Morbidelli in 8th, Bender in 9th, and Acosta in 10th.
Germany 2022, 1,043.
Ayagura trying to join that pack in the Trackhouse bike.
Between Marc Marquez's return to the top step in Aragon last year.
That would
a little bit of symmetry.
That would be very bizarre.
Yeah. There is Morbidelli, got caught up early on, went round. He's behind Jack Miller, who's having a decent ride on the Yamaha. Joan Mir there in 6th. You know, we're not talking about Ducatis here. We've got Ducati 2nd and 3rd, and then 5th and 8th. And all the rest, of course, in and amongst them. Vinales is in 4th. Of course, Quartararo leading on the Yamaha. Mir, Miller. The concession's starting to work. Look, it was a top Ducati top 6 yesterday, but still starting to show. We weren't seeing this kind of thing last year.
Not at all. No, you're so right. The concessions, the teams that have had very little success have got more tyres. They're allowed to do more testing, more development. For example, there's a test tomorrow here. Everybody will be testing, but then is it Yamaha or Honda? They're off. Then they're testing Tuesday, Wednesday at Valencia.
Yeah, they're allowed that. That's basically
that's how the concessions
get one day. Pecco Bagnaia says he's desperate.
There's 12, 13, 14. Luca Marini, Johan Zarco, and Nea Bastianini.
What I'll also say is Marc Marquez will have another day of testing underneath his belt. There's obviously still things he says he's not got used to on the factory machine. Again, a victim of his own devices here.
There's Marc Marquez back in 21st.
It's just interesting to see that he didn't look comfortable. And if your front tyre pressure goes up, if you've set it for, you're expected to lead, then you have less grip.
The pace is closing in out there.
I'm saying the opposite. It's just too much. You can't close in that fast.
Well, both Alex Marquez and Pecco Bagnaia, their little ride from the podium back to their press room yesterday, we saw behind the scenes, and they're saying, you are... the line from Pecco Bagnaia is, you've done a deal with someone, haven't you? I.e., someone on a higher plane than this, to the way he was riding around the left corner.
To be able to go that fast around turn 7 and turn 8 without crashing.
Well, the deal was broken.
To run out,
Up at turn 1, who'd have thought Fabio Quartararo, approaching the halfway point of this race, would still be leading?
And he looks really comfortable, doesn't he?
He's no stranger to it. It's just been a long time since he's done it.
Yeah, that's true.
He said it was like dreamland yesterday. And he said, you know what? I wasn't cared about the result. I just wanted to have fun. Well, he'll be having fun, all right. That's the Marc Marquez stand there on the outside of turn 1.
Well, Marquez is up to 19th, past Barco Bezzecchi and Samkiet Chantra.
He's about 3/10 a lap slower than what the leaders are doing. So he can work his way forward, but actually be looking to get into the points, to be honest.
Yeah, I think he will. May well do it as tyres go off later on in the race.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll be looking to get the
We're on the
points.
10th lap now.
What's Alex Marquez's plan here?
Oh, Jack Miller fell back to
Fabio
10th
Quartararo.
place.
He's got to attack.
He was in
He's got to
7th.
see this as opportunity.
You feel like he's got a little bit close on the last 2 laps. So when you see a rider ride this close to the rider in front, it's with intent, because you know that your tyre pressure can start to work its way up.
Jack Miller looks like he's gone back behind Morbidelli, Binder and Acosta now, so he drops back to 10th place. I'd like to have seen that Morbidelli on Miller. At the front, top left. Alex Marquez closes in once more.
Yeah.
See how Alex Marquez goes for the tight apex on exit from the corner to squirt it up the straight.
Look
He's
at the
getting
speed
closer.
difference. Yeah.
Oh!
Getting closer.
Gonna have a look.
He is.
Marquez dives to the inside, and he takes the lead. Alex Marquez leads at Jerez
To lead the Spanish Grand Prix.
and takes the points, the prospective points lead with it.
Quartararo find a way back past. This is now where his Yamaha is going to be so hard to get back in front.
Yeah.
And Alex
Just a reminder,
Marquez
Alex
is pulled
Marquez
away.
has never won a MotoGP.
You know, if Marquez can pull it off in his home country, now that
And
would
he's
be a
won
story.
World Championships, he's won Moto3 and Moto2 World Championships in the past.
Oh yeah, he's got 12 Grand Prix wins to his name, but never in the Premier class. He's had 8 podiums, only ever had a second. Even on the Repsol Honda, he took podiums where others hadn't been able to do so.
Tell you what, Pecco closed in on the brakes there. Did you see that down to turn 6?
I think that's, I've been sat there and I've just seen Alex go through and I need to move now.
I totally agree.
We've done the straightaway heading into turn number 1. He just sent that thing in like a bullet.
Yeah.
Fabio had to pick up. Yeah, good move.
Slots it through, but it was a late one. I've seen a little bit of pumping there from Fabio Quartararo's bike. Is he just starting to, as he tries to apply the throttle, trying to keep tabs on Alex Marquez now. This is where the Yamaha struggling with that rear grip. Still Maverick Vinales in the distance.
Yeah, I was just thinking that. It looks slightly closer than I remembered.
Yeah, he was around a similar pace to the leaders, and then he's actually gone quicker than everyone in front of him, Vinales. So Alex Marquez leads.
It'd be so Maverick Vinales now just to work his way forward and win the race.
Yeah, we could hope.
Ducati are looking for
But he would be, if Maverick Vinales were to win in the KTM, it would be the first time a rider has won in the premier class for 4 different manufacturers.
With the KTM of Maverick Vinales lurking, could well be broken. Not going to rule it out anyway at this stage of the race, even though Alex Marquez, now having got past on Quartararo, is starting to open up a gap. We know exactly what happened, don't we, with Marc Marquez earlier. Ultimately, was that he knew his tyre pressure was going to go through the roof and he needed to make moves. He needed to go quickly.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. You can't believe, though, then you have to ask the question, with all his experience, with what's happened throughout his career, what's happened this year, with his ability on worn tyres, why panic?
Is he going to say the bike was too good?
Well, it's an excuse we heard this weekend from his brother in one of the practice sessions. He said the front end feel, the bike feel in general, give me that much confidence. It was hard to really totally understand where the limit was. But Mark looked ruffled, he just did.
Let's have a look from on board with Bagnaia here. Up the home straight, this is where Alex Marquez got through. So he only get up to 5th from 2nd in that final corner. Downhill into turn 2, see how the track just drops away ever so slightly in there. Bagnaia senses he's got to get through soon. This is further down the order. This is Ayogura on Jack Miller. 2 riders all no doubt have it sideways in there. I've got a feeling that's happened a lot to Jack over the last couple of laps. A bit like Fabio Quartararo on the Yamaha. You just can't stay in front.
It's that one area where you're a bit of a sitting duck on the Yamaha. Look at Pecco close in again on the brakes.
He gets a little bit nervous, doesn't he? You were talking about it, the bike. Yes, Fabio Quartararo is strong, straight up in the brakes, but in that little phase of dropping it into the corner, you were saying just might get a little bit nervous in terms of the rear contact.
Yeah. Fastest man on the track at the moment is Marc Marquez, 37.8 the last lap. The leaders are doing 37.9. Quattraro 38.2.
Moraro barely holding on here against the two-time champion, the guy who beat him in 22, no less.
Raul Fernandez ahead of him, and he's only about 3 seconds behind them. So there is a chance for points here for Marc Marquez.
See the crowd standing tall for their man, Alex Marquez. We're past the halfway point.
Shades of 2020, because it's a little bit of what happened when he broke his arm. He ran off the track, if you remember, then came back and had a ridiculous pace, fastest man on the track by miles, carving his way through, and then had the horrible crash right at this point on the track, turn 3. So that doesn't happen.
They don't know who his fastest lap. The thing I used only shows the last lap time, not the fastest lap.
Venue that changed his life and changed his career. Maverick Vinales is closing all the time. I wonder how he is in terms of front tyre as well after what happened in Qatar, because he has had quite a lot of clear air on the front of his tyre. So Maverick Vinales is closing on Bagnaia. It's down to 0.8 of a second. It was at about 1.5 a couple of laps ago. Finally, Gian Antonio is also approaching. Keep an eye on the top of your picture for the luminous yellow VR46 bike.
Yeah, Digi always has late race pace. It was a shame for Aldeguer to crash so early on, because I know they've been working on their late race pace.
Great shots from the drone.
Superb, that, isn't it?
Look at the crowds and look at the speeds as well. Oh, someone there.
Pulled out.
Was that someone sat there?
Oh!
Chantra, maybe?
No, wait.
Oh, so yeah, someone had gone. It is Miller, you're right.
Jack Miller,
right.
yeah, number 43 Yamaha.
There is Marquez, has made up the ground. It's Miller, look, he's got a problem with his bike.
Oh, yeah, he hasn't wrecked. His bike's just, his Yamaha is having
bad
problems.
Weekend all round for Jack.
Running 7th earlier, now a failing engine.
Decent pace in some of the sessions, been well inside the top 10.
He has been the second Yamaha, hasn't he, much of the time. Of course, if you didn't see, huge crash for Alex Rins yesterday. He's got a hairline fracture in his hand, wrist area.
He's running in the points at the moment.
The fact Rins is even out there is remarkable. So did Frankie Morbidelli, didn't he? He said his neck's a bit stiff.
Horrible crashes. Losing the front at well over 100 miles
an hour. Morbidelli's currently 6th.
Well, Brad Binder looking up here. He's got
Binder's at 8th.
just in front of him. Morbidelli's just got through on the Honda man. It goes wide.
Oh! There goes Jawan Mir.
And he gets hit by the bike there, Mir.
Crashes out from 7th place.
But what, I mean, on board to watch the crash. Mir was backing it in lovely. It's just when it came back into line, it overloaded the front, backing in line.
Well, bit of target fixation, perhaps.
Yeah, you get sort of sucked in towards the corner. You get into the braking zone and brake at the same point as the rider you're battling with, and he goes wide, you go wide. That's very common.
So Alex Marquez now has a 1.5 second lead at the front. Pecco Bagnaia's challenge has not materialised. I feel like we're going to be hearing more about Bagnaia when I'm riding in behind someone. I just can't ride how I would like, but Alex Marquez rode quite a lot of laps actually behind Quartararo, hits the front, and I'm just in the back of my head, I hate to talk about it, it's just tyre pressures. And Alex Marquez, having led this number of laps, was it part of the plan? You know, will he have had enough behind?
Yeah, I mean, he started from the second row of the grid.
Yeah.
You wouldn't be expecting to lead, but he's got good pace, so yeah, it's a difficult one to say, isn't it?
Now we're second guessing ourselves.
Yeah,
what rule we don't like.
No, I know.
What I will say is the riders are for it in a way. They were asked about it, weren't they, in the press conference? And they all say we don't want there to be the rules, but there are the rules. They are there, and so they understood what happened with Maverick Vinales last time out.
Also, what I will say on that last lap, Alex Marquez, he had down into the 37.7s, and that's why he really stretched the lead.
Marc Marquez now up into 16th place, so he's just 4 seconds away from Aleix Espargaro's in as a wild card.
4 seconds, 10 laps.
Yeah, and he is a second quicker a lap.
Yeah.
points. Every chance he could pick up, you know, 3 or 4 points. Every chance the brothers are going to be on a similar points total at the end of this one. If Mark were to get up to 11th, which is not out of the realms of possibility, maybe a little bit of a bridge too far.
10 to go.
They could be on similar points. Oh, someone else gone down. Just heard it in our headset. Someone else has crashed out of the race.
Well, I don't know who it is. Oh, it's Franco Morbidelli.
After a crash yesterday, another one today.
Damn.
He has
It's the
finished
third
everything.
Ducati to have a wreck
If you
today.
look at how we started the season, it's been incredible, hasn't it? Look at the results.
Damn.
All top 7, all top 5s actually, bar the 7th in the
And he
Argentinian
was
sprint.
6th.
3 podiums, including.
So now the
one sprint in
Ducatis that are
Qatar.
left
So, yeah,
that haven't wrecked are first,
not like
third,
Frankie,
and
that promotes
5th.
Binder up to 6th, Acosta to 7th, Agura to 8th, and I'll remind you that gives Marc Marquez a World Championship point.
So,
And he's now 3.7 seconds behind Aleix Espargaro.
like, Aleix Espargaro, I hate saying
And
that.
he's riding with a
So
bike
now
that
he's
looks
in
like that,
14th.
slightly
That would give
cookie,
him 2
slightly
points as a
second
wild
hand.
card driver.
Pecco
More
Bagnaia
points than
has
Jorge
given himself a
Martin
bit of
still.
breathing room again.
Poor
In doing so,
fuck.
Maverick Vinales is getting that bit
9
closer
laps
to
to
him.
go.
It's Alex Marquez's race to lose from here. With 8.5 laps remaining in the Spanish Grand Prix, Alex Marquez could be about to write his own page in Spanish history, but taking the 200th Spanish win in the Premier Class.
Oh,
And
that's
it's
how
coming
about
in
that?
Spain.
That'd be quite
Yeah,
a way
if
to
you
get your
think how he
first
started
win.
his weekend, 2 crashes on Friday, one of them very, very fast into turn 5. Got proper work to barrel rolled in the gravel, cuts and bruises everywhere. There's one thing we've learned about Alex Marquez over the years: he bounces well. It doesn't affect him at all. He's one tough cookie. Another real happy-go-lucky character you meet in the paddock. Always got time to chat. Zero ego. No massive entourage with Alex at all. I hope that's a late one.
Boy, I even realized that Somkiat Chantra had a mechanical problem. He's out of the race too.
Bastianini's going to have a look. No, thinking about it into turn 1.
So Marini in.
Oh, look here, it's actually still in the race. So is Bezzecchi. And then Savadori is so slow that he's just last of all the drivers.
3 KTM team,
That are
Renee
still on the track.
Bastianini, who is basically putting everything down at the moment to his 1 lap pace. Although we're talking about what configurations all the KTM riders have got. He's got the salad box on the rear seats of his bike. Others have dispensed with it. He's apparently a bit more of a mishmash. Look how much it's sat down, that KTM. Coming out. Is he going to get alongside? Because that KTM we saw in Qatar is powerful.
He ain't going to get it stopped though.
No, he isn't.
Crossover.
All the way. He was,
And Luca Marini hold on to 9th place over Enea Bastianini.
Just carrying too much speed. And the reality is, on lap 18, by now the front tyre's hot anyway. You've had a lot of wear, and you can feel where the limit
8 laps
is.
to go.
So you did the right thing, just let it go wide. Regather your thoughts. Try again. I feel like Bagnaia's having a bit of a push now. Let's see what he's got.
There's Maverick Vinales in a second of third place Francesco Bagnaia. As now we have 7 laps to go.
Marquez and Quartararo at 2.2 seconds, but in Quartararo's head, the Jaws music will be starting to play because Bagnaia was a 10th and a half quicker than him on that last lap. Still, Alex Marquez in the 137.8 bracket. It was 137.7 a lap ago. Only person quicker than him, Mark, down in 15th. And Marc Marquez has just set his personal best lap of the race. Actually, not too far off the existing race lap record, which we know has been beaten by this man in the race. But still, with that bike as damaged as it is, and Mark's just set personal best lap.
Which sort of underlines what I said earlier about him panicking early. Of course he wanted track position. Of course he wanted to lead the race with regards to front tyre pressures and all that lot. But when you look at his pace now, I mean, he's half a second a lap faster than pretty much everybody with a damaged bike. And that is one of his skills. He's really good on worn tyres. That's what we know.
I want to talk about Fabio Quartararo, though. and what he's still doing. It's easy to forget his role, what he's played in this race.
I didn't expect him to be this fast for this long, even though he's been fast all weekend. And
Pace has been there.
His pace has been there. I thought he'd have ended up in a position where he got his pocket picked on too many occasions because of the lack of top speed down the straight. But thankfully, he's been very good through turn 5. And it looks
Six coming out of 6 to
Yamaha
go.
improved that package ever so slightly in that area for the main race.
Last podium came in Indonesia. Remember that crazy race back in 2023 for Fabio Quartararo? That was when all sorts was going on back then. Sorry, India. My apologies, India. Remember the first visit we had there in the ridiculously hot conditions. For a long time since he stood up there. Aleix Espargaro a bit wide now, and Marc Marquez with these couple of places would move into within 2 points of his teammate. Just has to make sure he gets it right here. Down towards turn 6 would be the bet. This is 5 coming up.
It's sometimes harder to pass 2 riders when they're battling, because, for example, if you try and dive up the inside into 6, you can end up getting into a dead end because Raul Fernandez is tipping it. So you have to deal with that as well.
Here we go. We're getting just that.
Perfect example.
And Aleix
is going to run them both wide potentially, and he'll.
So that was like Espargaro around Raul Fernandez for 13.
And that's exactly what you said,
Yeah.
Neil.
Marquez
While Aleix was
sees Fernandez now as more points and pulls. Oh, trying to pull to the inside there.
He crashed. Still had a thought about going through. He's going to turn
Gets
underneath Raul Fernandez here.
Yeah, he goes to 14th.
Still got that turning ability in 7 and 8. Sorry.
It's another point.
In 9 and 10. Nieto Pelucchi. Crowd cheering on his every move. You can see the side fairings damaged, the wheel fairings damaged.
5 laps to go.
Had pulled another 10th on Bagnaia on that last lap. Vinales has closed by another 10th on Bagnaia. This is the battle between Aleix Espargaro and Marc Marquez. They get on well.
So anyway, Alex Marquez trying to be the 3rd different winner of 2025 in 5 races. Well, 10 if you count the sprint.
There's Carlos Alcaraz, Spanish hero, pulled out of the Madrid Open, of course.
It's a 4-time Grand Slam champion. I don't know what the Grand Slam is.
Disappointed with the result in that one last night, and then comes down here. He's going to be waving the checkered flag, the Wimbledon winner.
Oh, tennis. Okay.
Aleix.
They're both closing in on Alex Rins, who must be in so much pain after that huge crash on Saturday morning.
Down towards
Aleix
scrapping to the last.
Poor Rins. He ends it to the inside. Oh, blocked by Espargaro.
Not going to set him up into turn 8. No.
Use the pace into 9, perhaps.
Yeah, it's when he's using the pass, not quite close enough this time.
Aleix riding well.
Really well. Aleix said at the end of the sprint race, he said, I couldn't feel my arms after 2 laps. We know he's incredibly fit, but he does a lot of cycling, and he said, I think like most people skip leg day, he skipped arm day. So he said, I've just forgotten how physical it is in a race, kind of race one of these MotoGP bikes.
Here we go, Marc Marquez. Sent out a signal on that one, didn't he? Aleix, of course, Aleix is going to come back at him after he ran a little bit deep. Top left of your picture, you're watching Quartararo hold off Bagnaia. The gap is yo-yoing a bit as Marc goes again, and surely going to... Oh, he's absolutely blocked that one there, hasn't he?
He's parked him at the edge of the track there.
Marquez goes to 13, passing Aleix Espargaro.
That's what we want to see, isn't it?
Of course.
4 laps to go, by the
down
way.
to 2 points now between the brothers. Remember, we've got a huge event at Le Mans in a couple of weeks' time. Then we'll be back in the UK at Silverstone. Change of date this year, in case you weren't aware, and we're going there in 4 weeks' time. If you want to get your own bit of this Grand Prix action, we've enjoyed this one today. We were a bit worried, weren't we, after what we saw in the sprint and after Moto2 and Moto3, but I know Alex Marquez has gone out of the front, but delivered some drama.
There's definitely been some action. And at Le Mans, we know they get big crowds there, but you feel like it will put a few more bums on the seats there for the promoter.
I don't think there's any more seats left.
No, I know, but seeing their rider in second place.
Yeah, absolutely. He has transformed that event as Fabio Quartararo and Johan Zarco as well, to give him credit for his double Moto2 championship wins.
Look at them lap times there. Totally controlled, under pressure. When I say that, I don't mean from the rider behind, but under pressure mentally. He knows if he can win this race now, he's going to be leading the championship. He knows that he's never won a MotoGP Grand Prix. To win the Spanish Grand Prix for the Spanish rider is huge.
3 to go.
200th Premier.
There are 4 races in Spain.
In Jerez.
The Spanish Grand Prix at Jerez, the Catalan Grand Prix at Barcelona, Catalunya, the Aragon Grand Prix at Motorland Aragon, the Valencia Grand Prix at the Circuit Ricardo Tormo. Well, I guess technically because this is the Spanish Grand Prix, this one is the money stuff. Is the money?
Yes, there were the tyre pressure issues, and other riders are saying, well, you know,
this is the money race.
Tyre pressure worries. I think I'll be that much quicker. But you know what? He's showing here today, Maverick. Well, we know Maverick. He's just an enigma.
But did you think Maverick Vinales would be 7 seconds ahead of like a Pedro Acosta, who we sort of know is KTM's golden boy, the super talented?
Oh, come on, don't freeze on me now.
Pedro Acosta. I didn't think that would happen.
No, I think that's fair enough. Mark Marquez is closing rapidly on Alex Rins down in 13th. This man's teammate, but I am so impressed with Fabio. We all hugely rate this Frenchman's talent, and I'm glad that he's just able to demonstrate it.
Has Bagnaia got one last push is the question. We'll find out this next lap. About to be 2 laps ago. I'd say Knox, you would have assumed he would have been a bit closer by now.
All right, 2 to go.
2 to go for Alex Marquez. His dad, Julian, watching on from the pits. Nervous times. Gigi Dall'Igna watches on with that look of, okay, still a Ducati winning. Not necessarily the ones I would have liked, but keeps that run going of Ducati dominance. You said it earlier. Do you believe it when you said, I know we saw top 6 of Ducatis yesterday, but seeing a Yamaha second, Ducati want that, don't they? Is that me being naive?
No, they do want that. Obviously, Ducati want to win everything, but you've got to be honest, they want some competition. Because they're well aware that it can become a little bit boring if one manufacturer is dominating for so many years. Ducati love competition, they love racing. That's what they're all about. That's why they've had so much success, because they invest so much into racing. That's their strategy as a manufacturer. Bagnaia's pushing, but the gap's staying stable at about half a second.
And that's why you have to say how brilliant that Fabio Quartararo has been today. If you had to pick a rider of the day, it's not an easy one, is it? Alex Marquez about to take his maiden win.
It's down to .3.
Fabio Quartararo fighting hard.
Well, that's supposed to, yeah, we might have a battle for a second right at the end.
So, where is it? Turn 1? Turn 6?
But I don't know. Quartararo looks a little too far out to get past by the number 63.
So in a lap's time, you're saying when we get to the last lap of this race, Bagnaia is going to break off.
Well, I think our time is now. White flag is out. Last lap at Jerez.
We've had drama here in Jerez. Mark Marquez has crashed out. It's his brother Alex who's picked up the pieces.
Can Alex Marquez hold off the challenge for another 4.423 kilometers? I mean, he's got it over 2 second lead. Probably going to hold it off. Can he just not make any mistakes?
Can he find something to attack Quartararo, who has been superb from pole position? That was stunning enough in qualifying. He just needs to find it for another half a lap here. Maverick Vinales is going to be 4th in this one, barring mistakes ahead of him. He's lived in the shadows for so long of his brother Alex Marquez, and his brother always said, I'd hate to be in his position. I respect him so much. And that is so true, but he just gets on. It's all water off his back.
Well, he's got a smile on his face as Alex Marquez. He walks around the paddock. He's really well respected.
It's like he said, life's not bad.
yeah. He can ride a motorcycle. He's a 2-time world champion, and he's about to win his first official MotoGP.
The
Grand Prix.
200th win for Spain, for Spanish drivers at Jerez. And the younger brother is on track to finally do what his older brother has done over 60 times.
Ironically, then through Ferrari.
Only a few more turns to go for younger brother Alex Marquez.
Alex Marquez, on a day when his brother has fallen.
There's his father watching proudly. He can finally say Alex Marquez is a MotoGP winner. He does it at the Circuito de Jerez.
Simply sublime to take second place for Yamaha. Pecco Bagnaia takes third. Marc Marquez has got Alex Rins on that last lap. He will pick up 4 World Championship points and will sit a single point behind his brother in the championship after crashing out at turn 8 earlier on.
You can't make it up. Alex Marquez.
So,
Marc
Marquez finishes 12th. Alex leads the points by 1.
Just like you said, imagine being Marc Marquez's brother. He casts a large shadow. But
Alex Marquez's 6th year in MotoGP. Finally, he takes his first victory. After 3 second-place finishes to start the year and a 6th in Qatar, race number 5, it's a win, and that's got to feel awesome.
He's been a world champion in Moto3. He leads the World Championship in MotoGP.
For the second time.
For the second time, that's true. That has taken, crucially, his maiden win. And Mum Rosaire, well, she was in tears at the start of the year, wasn't she? We didn't see her on that occasion. But Rosaire down there in floods. And who can blame her? Let's not forget, Alex himself had 2 huge crashes on Friday.
Yeah, he's beaten up. He's black and blue, so his arm. I'm so pleased for him. I am so pleased for him.
The visor's down,
yeah, because
and you know exactly why. Yeah. Tears, there'll be exhaustion, the pressure.
Even Hulk Hogan's in the garage. Look at that. Can you believe it?
Oh, dear me. Lacia Spargro is the rider that's just popped up on our screens under investigation for tyre pressure.
These are the best. It's the best celebration when I see a rider emotional like that. You know what it means to him.
You've won at Brands Hatch at home, Neil. How does it feel to take victory in front of your home crowd?
I can't put it into words. Honestly, it is that good.
You know, that's pretty good. So, point scorers. So, Alex Marquez won the race. 2nd is Fabio Quartararo. Francesco Bagnaia 3rd. 4th is Maverick Vinales. 5th, Fabio De Gianantonio. 6th is Brad Binder. 7th is Pedro Acosta. 8th, Ayagura. 9th, Enea Bastianini. 10th, Luca Marini. 11th, Johan Zarco. 12th, Marc Marquez. 13th, Alex Rins. 14th, Alacia Espargaro. And 15th, Marco Bezzecchi. So that is how they finished today. And that is the Spanish Grand Prix. In a few hours, we'll have the Cup race at Talladega. Of course, I will be covering that. Hope to see you for that. BowserJrXD signing off for now. Have a good one.